Hi, I'm Craig.
I'm Ali.
Welcome to the Hangar 9 Ultrastick 10cc Q&A. We're going to be here with Ali. Ali was the product developer for the airplane, and if you have questions, please feel free to ask those, and we'll get those addressed for you. So, Ali's going to turn his volume down.
Yeah, that's cool. It's me, look. And you.
What we've got is a smaller version of the Ultrastick 30cc that was released last year, and let me go.
Oh, you turn your volume down now, yes.
A model like this is near and dear to me because I grew up building and flying ugly sticks as they were back in the day. So I've been waiting for this one to come out. I haven't actually flown it, but I've seen it around the office, so I'm looking forward to asking Ali a few questions of my own. And I'd actually like to start with the color scheme. We do a lot of different colors, of course, in Hangar 9. This is the first time, maybe forever, but certainly a long time, I've seen what looks like fluorescent color. So is this fluorescent orange, red?
It looks orange. It actually, probably on the camera comes across as just standard red, but it is actually ultra coat fluorescent orange. Red, sorry, fluorescent red. And as you say, it's the first time in a long while we've used a fluorescent colour. Okay. There are some ups and downs with fluorescent, some pros and cons. Cons are that it is hideously expensive compared to a standard colour. We actually had to pay a premium to have it shipped to the vendor to have it applied. It needs a little bit more looking after. It can fade in direct sunlight quicker than a standard colour. The pros are obviously how striking it is and how well it stands out in the sky. We got a lot of feedback from people, pretty much in everything we do about, can you make it more visible, and I have a problem orientating it. So from the get-go, I wanted to make something that everyone could see.
Okay, and for that moment, probably next week, when I drop a screwdriver through it, we stock this color, right? This can be repaired?
Yeah, it's a standard color, albeit, it's a little bit more expensive, or a lot more expensive, but in a 2-meter roll, that's not too much. Yeah, you can order it on Horizon or from any hobby shop.
Okay, and the bottom wing, what do we got on the bottom?
It's a lot more simple. It's standard white, and then the fuselage is fluorescent for visuals, and then we have a big bands of dark color for visual orientation. So. Yeah, the idea is when you're rolling around or when you're banking, you have a differential between top and bottom.
Okay. And the other thing that struck me when I saw this version of the airplane is how tall the landing gear is. What's going on there?
Again, a feedback thing. I did the Ultrastick 30cc last year, and I really liked having it low down and sleek and so forth. And we got some feedback from customers who are fitting bigger power plants than we recommended.
Of course.
And the ground clearance was brought up a few times, so they'd like to have had more ground clearance. Right. I mean, we tested the 30cc with up to 60cc of engine on the standard undercarriage, and we got away with it, but I could see where they were coming from. It was close to the long grass.
Okay.
So from the get-go with the 10cc, I was like, okay, spoke to the vendor and said, primary design brief is that we have a tall undercarriage, because I know people are going to put bigger power plants.
I love the look of it. I like the wheel pants on there too. For those of you watching, this is a 14-inch prop, so you can see there's plenty of ground clearance, even until you get to the prop. You're never going to get to that kind of attitude in takeoff or landing. But speaking of engines, I mean, if Ali's got a reputation around the office, and he has several, but mostly good, is that if there's an engine or a brushless motor laying around, he's going to bolt it to something. So tell us about all the different engines you've had on the Ultrasticks, and which one would be your favorite and why?
Yeah, it's something I like to do. We get a bit of downtime, and as you say, I'd like to experiment. And it's probably one of the main reasons why I love the Ultrastick. It's versatility. The abilities for me just to bolt something on the front without having to think of cowlings and firewall spacing and bearers and so forth, and obviously ground clearance.
Right.
On the 30cc, I ran it myself personally with 6 different power plants, just for giggles, if you like, from as little as 30cc all the way up to 62cc. And it literally was one day there was a sample Sato radial that had been in the office for a while and nobody was using it, so I think with your help I got the ignition system and put that on. With that in mind, when the 10cc came out, I was always like, okay, is there a Sato radial that would bolt on the front of this? And yeah, the 19cc 3-cylinder radial was a straight fit, a little bit tight getting the blind nuts onto the firewall, but no major surgery. It just required a little bit of opening out of the triangular reinforcement blocks in there.
Okay.
And at the other end of the spectrum, I've run this all the way down to the 10cc single-cylinder Evolution engine, which is what the airplane's naturally designed for. and the electric power system, which is the E-Flight 52 on 5S.
Okay.
And personally, my most favourite, I mean, we were doing the video the other day, and this is just glorious. The sound of this, I could just fly this around in circles all day long. But my most favourite is the simple setup, the Evolution 10. It gives me a long flight time, a light setup, and plenty of performance.
Okay. Yeah, this beautiful engine, obviously not the most economical option for what is a fairly simple airplane. And I see we have separate ailerons and flaps. None of the models I ever built had that, but I did see another wing that has ailerons only, so tell us about that.
Yeah, again, I wanted to increase the versatility of the airplane, so I understand there are some people out there who are on a budget or want to keep things super simple, so they don't want to have a multi-surface trailing edge wing. They want to fly this airplane on a 4-channel radio. So out of the box, it will come with the 4 surface wing, so you have flaps and ailerons. Right. These, of course, you can mix up to be aileron, full span, crow, which is flaps down, ailerons up, even a mix from elevator to flat. But I also offered as an option, you can buy separately, as the single aileron option. So somebody who just wants to stick one servo in there, a Y lead, and really just use a 4-channel receiver, you're good to go.
Okay, so a lot of options.
Yeah. It also keeps the weight down as well.
Right.
The 3D version that I fly is actually set up with the 2-servo wing, just the aileron wing.
Okay, perfect. And no real detriment in performance.
More so, really, because you're saving the weight of a servo, which you wouldn't think is that much, but percentage-wise, on a plane like this, it does make a difference.
Yeah, a couple of servos and extension leads and all that kind of thing. I see servos in the tail of this one. I presume that's for the added weight of the Sato.
Yeah, I had to put servos in the tail and the batteries in the back. Now, the servos in the tail and the mounts, I say I had to put them in there. The mounts are already there. Okay. It's not something I had to modify. There's 2 positions, just like the 30cc stick. You have the servo cutouts in the fuselage to take the rudder and elevator servos there, or already in the back. They're not cut out, they're covered over, so for those that want to put the servos in the tail, just an X-Acto, open out the holes, screw them in, and away you go.
Okay. Looks like no tools for assembly, thumb screws for the wing, the hatch you can get off.
Yeah, again, another design brief with Hangar 9. We're trying to keep the tool count down so you can go to the field and be in the air as quick as possible. One-piece wing as well, so super simple as far as build's concerned, rigging at the field. It's a convenient size, 60-inch wingspan, so I think the video, when it comes out, will show 3 of them loaded in a little small Ford van. Okay. So, yeah, it doesn't take up too much space for those that want to carry it around rigged.
All right. And what kind of skill level? Who's going to be able to handle this model, maybe in the more simple setup?
It's so difficult to answer that question, because I honestly think set up correctly and with the right sort of help, you could go from raw novice, but it's probably a little bit advanced for that. I'd say definitely from second aeroplane all the way up to 3D prop hanging Harriers, rolling Harriers, blenders and so forth. So it's a very broad spectrum of what it will cover.
Okay, sounds great. Do we have any questions over there, Kyle?
No, I mean, quickly, price point, where to get them, when to
Oh, there you go.
Price point, retail of the map on the airplane is $229.99. It's going to be available in hobby stores, obviously, through horizonhobby.com. This will be the sort of product, because of the size of the box and everything, that you'll see hobby stores keeping, as well as going direct.
And it'll be available soon, right? I believe they shipped.
Yes, the production orders are placed. They are on the water effectively now, so
Okay.
we should see them in around about 6 weeks.
All right. So best way to get one is to pre-order with your local hobby shop, or you can get it on horizonhobby.com also. That is, those are all the questions I have. I don't know if we have.
I'm getting a question. Floats.
There you go.
We missed that one. Thank you, Alex. It does come float ready, and by that I mean there's no modifications needed to fit the float set. We sell a float set for it, which is the E-Flight float set. I can't remember the part number off the top of my head. It's unusual because it's a foam set of floats, but it's ready to go. The reason why you used foam floats is they're the perfect size, they're super quick and simple and very cost effective. The mounts are already in the fuselage, front and bottom, so you just slot those out and then use the wire set, which we recommend. And probably around about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you can be changing this from wheels to floats and back again.
Right. Sounds perfect.
Thanks, Gavin. No, we're not. What size engine do you recommend? Glow engine. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the question come in on Bizarre Voice earlier today. The glow engine-wise, we're flying on 10cc gas happily, so glow like a 50 to a 60 glow. I know people are going to put upwards, 90s, 120s and so forth. I would happily fly this on something like a 46 size glow engine.
I think Kyle found that question.
Yeah.
I flew this size model on a 40 glow engine. It flew fine. That was with fixed, obviously, tricycle gear. We have a Sato 62 glow 4-stroke laying around. I think might be a good fit. We'll try that too. But,
Yeah. Standard servos, it's all set up for all standard equipment, nothing super fancy or super expensive. The servos we recommend are the Spectrum 6110s, but I'd say anyone who's got any standard size servos laying around will be more than enough for this. A little feedback or a little bit of input from the old ugly stick days or even prior ultra sticks. One of the differences we've made is increase the surface area on the control surfaces quite some bit. That opens up the flight envelope a little bit. Double beveled the edges so you're getting big movements now. It opens up the more extreme side of the flight envelope. The plane will happily prop hang, torque roll, as I say, blender and do the aggressive snap maneuvers.
okay. Now the top hatch obviously for fuel tank and then EP battery access.
Yep.
Does that have just the screw? Is there anything else holding it?
2 tabs and a single screw. We had a magnet on the 30cc one with the screw option as well. I saw more people using the screw option, which is understandable. They don't want to lose the top hatch. So with this one, I just went straight for the 2 pegs and the 3mm screw.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I think that's all we have, unless you see any more questions. Gavin's question, we took care of that.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
Gavin.
watching.
Thanks for the compliment, Gav. I think I carry it, but yeah,
Thanks everybody for watching. Any more questions, we can address those later if they come up. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.